Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be showing off the new Flunderfreeze archetype. They already have a pretty strong boss monster. Even though I know they have penguins in some of their artworks, they're mostly just like winged beasts. It's kind of, I guess, a new bird archetype. Is it going to be better than Blackwings? That's the real question, because that reigned for the longest time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Career for like the meta of the winged beast. But they're not penguins, even though they have penguins as the artwork. I don't know if they're going to be actually able to be splashed in. Let's go and check them out and see if they're any good or not. If you guys are excited about a new archetype, though, drop a like on this video because we're about to see it. So Flunderfreeze X and Pen is the first card, and this is going to be one of your boss monsters. So anyways, it's a level 10 winged beast effect monster, 2700 attack, 1000 defense points, and it says if this card is tribute summoned, you get to add one Flunderfreeze spell/trap from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one monster. The second part of the effect is when this tribute summon monster is on the field, your opponent's special summon monsters in attack position cannot activate their effects. The third part of it says if this card battles its opponent's monster during damage calculation, you're going to banish one card from your hand. That opponent's monster's current attack/defense become halved until the end of this turn. So if you're thinking, oh, it's whatever, it's only got 2700 attack, I'll make something, you know, that's special summon, I'm just gonna attack over it, you're probably not gonna be doing that, considering you'd have to have a monster with insane amounts of attack, like 5k plus, really to be able to maybe even take this thing down. Because remember, yours are gonna be, stats are going to be halved. And on top of that, you get to search out one card. If the searchable card, by the way, because I haven't checked out the full archetype yet, I just checked out this card because I didn't know if it was going to be new penguins. But if you're able to add one of these cards that prevents your opponent's like imperm or like droplets or something that would normally negate this via like spell/trap, then this archetype is already actually looking pretty dang good. But let's check out the rest of the support because it depends on what we can actually add that is going to be viable. Next up, the Flunderfreeze X Snowl. Anyways, a level 10 water wing beast effect monster, 2000 attack, 800 defense points, and it says once per turn, if you control this tribute summon card, you can activate this effect. You conduct 3 normal summon/set this turn, not just one. A 3 is insane. Okay, so that I guess helps out with getting out their other boss monsters potentially. Then, while this tribute summon monster is on the field, if your monster attacks a defense position monster, you get to inflict piercing, battle damage. Third effect is once per turn as quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand to change all opponent's special summon monsters to face down defense position. This is actually a pretty good effect too, because that kind of turns off the effects, but the other effect is way better, just negating all of their effects, and if they try to attack you, it's just like, nope. It just depends on like what the spell and trap cards that you can add are going to be. Next up though, we have the Flunderfreeze X Robina, and here is the artwork on this card. It looks like it's going to be a level 1 with 600 attack, 1200 defense points. It's going to be a water winged beast effect monster, and says you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon the turn you activate either of those effects. So the first part of it, if this card is normal summon, you can add a level 4 or lower winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one winged beast monster. That's actually pretty good. So that's instantly just 2 monsters. And then the second part of the effect is if this face-up card leaves the field, banish it. And then the third part of the effect is if a winged beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you get to add this card to your hand. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So you tribute summon it, and then later down the line when you summon it, you get to re-add it back. This is really good. This is like an engine in itself, but they cannot special summon. So it's almost like an anti-meta-ish, archetype, at least so far. This is, because they're all about tribute summons. Next up, we have the Flunderfreeze X Eagle-N. He is also going to be a level 1 with 800 attack, 1000 defense points, and it's going to be another winged beast effect monster. This one's win. And then its effect is you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon the turn you activate either of those effects. The first part of it says if this card is normal summon, you get to add a level 7 or higher winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you get to normal summon one winged beast monster. The second part is if this face-up card leaves the field, banish it. And the third effect is if a winged beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you get to add this card to your hand. So you have insane searchability. Unfortunately, it's only when it's normal summon. There's a lot of searchability though with level 1 cards specifically. There's also Where Art Thou, which I'm sure you guys remember that card. But unfortunately, you cannot 1-for-1 because it's the only one that gets normal. Not that it matters, because the whole deck doesn't want a special summon anyways, at least via their effects. Next up, we have the Flunderfreeze X Stritch. Looks like an ostrich over here. It's another level 1, 700 attack, 1100 defense points, and it's going to be a Water Wing Beast. And it says that you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon the turn you activate either of those effects. If this card is normal summon, to add, you get to target one card in either graveyard, banish it, then immediately after this effect resolves, you get to normal summon a Wing Beast monster. Second part is, if this basic card leaves the field, banish it. The third part is, if a Wing Beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you get to add this card to your hand. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of just a different little effect here. Next up, we have the Toucan. Oh, okay, they're going for all the different birds over here. So it's going to be a Wind, level 1, 500 attack, 1300 defense points, and it says you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon the turn you activate either of those effects. The first part of it says, if this card is normal summon, you can target one of your banished Flunderfreeze cards and add it to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one Wing Beast monster. Second part is, if this card, a face-up card leaves the field, you get to banish it. And the third effect is, if Wing Beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you can add it back to your hand. Okay, pretty good stuff indeed. Next up, we have Flunderfreeze and the Mysterious Map. So let's go check out this. This is going to be their field spell card, and it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part of the effect is, during your main phase, you can reveal one Flunderfreeze monster in your hand, and if you do, banish one Flunderfreeze card with a different name from your deck. Then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon the revealed monster. Okay, that's really good. The second part is, if your opponent normal summons a monster, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a Flunderfreeze monster. Oh, so you don't even have to leave your monster on the board until you want to go for that effect that will just lock them out. That's actually really good. Having that surprise factor can be very powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, that means they're committed to the board, which means they cannot imperm you, which is a very popular Yu-Gi-Oh! Card before your opponent like tries to make their big plays, right? So that's a really good card too. Next up, though, we have the Flunderfreeze and the Unknown Wind, which is a continuous spell card that says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is you can conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes by sending one monster you control and one card your opponent controls to the graveyard. Instead of tributing, it's still treated as tribute summon. Oh, that's insane! Not only does it have like a pretty good turn 1 play and a surprise factor, but on top of that, if you go second, you activate this. If they don't negate that, you're just tributing their cards. And I gotta double check. It doesn't have to be tributed using Flunderfreeze, right? It just while this tribute summon. Okay, I just had to double check on that because that would be a pretty important part of the effect. But that is insane that you could tribute your opponent's stuff. And then also during your main phase, you can reveal up to 2 Wing Beast monsters in your hand and place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then draw the same number of cards. So you have it's like really good. This is so good because it lets you put the bigger monsters, or technically the smaller monsters that you don't need, to get the cards that you do potentially need. Very good stuff already. This archetype is actually looking really good. Next up, we have Flunderfreeze and the City of Dreams. There's a normal trap card that says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First part of the effect is, during the main phase, immediately after the effect resolves, normal summon one level 4 or lower Wing Beast monster. The second part is, if you tribute a level 7 or higher monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card to change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Interesting effect. Mixing it with those dinosaurs, and you got dino birds, and you could just start hitting a lot. I don't know about this card. It maybe still has some use, but I would say that I would skip out on that one potentially because it's just too slow realistic. You need to get your stuff out faster. And the next up we have, because remember they do have searchable cards, which is really important with the archetype, but it would need to like immediately set it to be like viable, at least I would say, and it has to be activated this turn. Anyways, Flunderfreeze and the Scary Sea. This is a counter trap card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. If you control a face-up tribute summon monster and no special summon monsters, and your opponent would special summon monsters, your opponent cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, but they can conduct 3 normal summons or set this turn, not just one. Also negate the summon. If you do, return that monster to the hand. So what they really needed was like a negate spell or trap so far. If they can get a negate spell or trap, I like the little gift there, but if they were able to, if one of the Flunderfreeze spells or traps was specifically being able to negate a spell or trap, I think that this archetype would be so much better. But remember, you can still surprise your opponent, but at the end of the day, like what you're able to add only sets you up for future plays, not your current play. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, technically, yeah, if they summon something, you get another normal. I really like being able to tribute my opponent's thing. I'm wondering if this effect works with the other effect, considering that it is a field spell and this is continuous, if the normal, can I distribute my opponent's card immediately during, well, this is during your main phase technically anyways, but it says immediately after this effect resolves, you can conduct one. I'm not sure. If you're able, though, by the way, if you can add, like, if you have both of these, I'm wondering, if my opponent normals, can I just tribute their card, and then I would, you know, tribute one of mine, because the other, everything just gives you extra summons. I think this archetype is pretty good already. Like I said, if they just have a negate spell trap that was searchable, because the other card searches whatever you need in the deck for spell and trap, I think the archetype is looking pretty good. But anyways, you guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here and want to be up to date on the latest new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, make sure you guys subscribe with the bell notification on, as well as giving you guys some gameplay of it. I'll be dropping it probably pretty soon as they get announced, because it's really easy to get this gameplay. But if you guys got any cool combos, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys want to send me any gameplays, I'll give you a shout out as well. You guys can send in the replay files to asianizereplays@gmail.com, or feel free to hit me up via the Discord with the replay file, and we'll see if they're any good. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm going. I'm out. Peace.